Hi everyone, it's Dorcas and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a different kind of video, but it's one that I've been thinking about since I've been back from San Francisco and probably a little longer than that before I came back onto YouTube and social media. But that's because while I was there, I bought two pens that have a really personal meaning for me, and those are the Hachimonjiya Sailor Pro Gear in the Ginzen Snow Gray and the Kubozakura. And they're gorgeous, and I'd been thinking about getting them for months before the show. And the reason why I wanted to get those two pens was because I wanted them to mark my breast cancer journey. Now, those who have been following me on Instagram from way back know part of my story, or they've been following my journey through there as I've been documenting it in various ways, be it through photos or art that I've created, paintings, publishing personal essays. I even did a video for BET.com back when I worked there. And it's been 13 years and I'm still trying to kick this cancer to the curb. I was initially diagnosed when I was 30 years old, and the news came as a complete shock to me. I, went through surgeries and radiation and medications, and I kind of just went through the motions because I was just, I don't know, it was just kind of numbing, and I just wanted to get through the treatments and everything that the doctors recommended without letting it change every other aspect of my life. So I was still working, I was still freelancing. I just didn't want anything to change. And through it all, in the back of my head, I just knew that it was going to come back because I was 30. And if I was going to live at least 50 more years or more, I mean, the idea that nothing would go wrong in that time, just I couldn't buy into that. Uh, what I didn't expect though was I would come back so soon. 4 years later, at 34, I was diagnosed again. The cancer had come back in the same place, and at that point, we threw everything at it except for chemo because my type of cancer just wasn't going to respond to that. But again, surgeries, I had a double mastectomy, I had daily radiation, monthly injections, I had to take pills, I had breast reconstruction, and it was just it was just a lot. It sucked. And I just when they told me that I have to do this for another 5 years, that was going to put me at nearly 40 years old. And not only was the whole like trauma of it hard to swallow, but then I had to think, I have no kids. I'm going to be nearly 40. And if I want to have kids, it's going to be really difficult at that point. Not impossible, but difficult. And the doctors were basically all telling me, consider other options. Having a biological kid is probably not in the cards for me. And when you've already given up so much control over your body, that was really hard. That was a harder pill to swallow than the tamoxifen, because even though I've always had a question mark around motherhood and having kids, I wanted that to be my decision. I didn't want someone else to tell me what I could or couldn't do, even though my body was kind of not working in my favor. And so when I was 36, after I had gone through this whole process and the treatments, and I was in a pretty good flow with it, I decided to freeze my eggs. I, you know, I didn't want anyone to take that off the table unless I chose to take it off the table myself. And again, I just wanted some hope. I just wanted to know that if I wanted to, that I still could. And so I went for it. I froze my eggs, at 36, and year after year, I've just been paying the annual storage fee, never knowing if I was just paying it for no reason other than peace of mind and, again, hope. And so I ended my treatment at 40 years old, and I was happy to be done with it. I was in remission. I no longer had to go to the doctors all the time. I was able to graduate to every 6 months instead. And it was great. I had my body back. I was able to, just try and start to put that behind me. And I had that for 3 years. And those who, again, follow me on Instagram now saw that a few days ago I posted a series of photos to highlight what's been going on in the past 3 years, and they've been mostly good, except that in February of this year, I was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer. I mean, this time we've gone to the lungs with round 3, and that was in February, and ever since then, I was just trying to confront the idea that I'm going to have to discard these eggs, that there's no way I will use them at this point. I mean, that's officially off the table. Again, it's still a question mark. I was never, you know, all in on the idea, but again, I just wanted something for myself. I just wanted to choose for myself, even if the choosing meant that I just never chose. Like if I was just ambivalent about the whole thing, I wanted to just be my choice. And so the renewal for the storage is every August. And I kept pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back on sending out that email to let the fertility clinic know that I no longer wanted to keep storing my eggs. I gave myself till August, beginning of August. I reached out, and of course, they didn't get back to me, etc. Fast forward to the day before the San Francisco Pen Show, and I finally get the documents to sign, the paperwork. And I mean, leading up to that moment, I was just, sobbing and just really heartbroken that this was just not, that this is how my story is playing out. And I wanted to do something happy and joyful to combat or to cover the sadness behind this decision. And so I decided that with that money that I am not putting towards storing my eggs, I was going to buy myself 2 beautiful pens at the pen show. And so I did. I had wanted something pink and something blue to signify, this fertility story. And I wanted a pen that was both blue and pink. And then I saw the Hachimonjiya pens, and I knew that those were the ones that I wanted. Those are the ones that I went straight for when I got there on Friday. And they were the first things that I bought. And after that, it was just everything else was a bonus. And I know some people might find that frivolous or silly that such a serious, monumentous thing that has happened to me is now symbolized in these 2 pens. But hey, they bring me joy. And it's been a really long, long, difficult journey. But when I see these pens and when I use these pens to journal about my feelings, they bring me joy. They make me happy. And after I signed that paperwork that night before I flew out to San Francisco, it felt a little anticlimactic, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely had a lot of feels leading up to it. And then when the moment finally came, it was like, I think I shed 2 tears. But I was just I was just adamant that I was gonna buy these pens to symbolize, you know, the end of that chapter, but also symbolizing, you know, the gloom and the bloom behind this breast cancer journey. And so I just wanted to get on here and just share a little bit about my story, my journey. There's just obviously I'm condensing 13 years into a few minutes, and everyone's story is different. I just wanted to share my version of things, and maybe there's somebody out there or others out there who've been through something similar, and you're welcome to leave comments, and definitely I will respond to all of them. If you have any questions, I will ask a favor of you as a viewer to just please be kind in the comments. If anyone's coming forward with their own story or experiences, just being gentle with us. Uh, everyone, I always carry the idea that, everyone is struggling with something, everyone's carrying something hard, and not all chronic illnesses are visible from the outside. So, that's how I walk through life, through this city, just trying to keep in mind that we never know what someone is working through. And if someone shares something that makes them happy or is joyful, and as silly as it seems, if it makes them happy, if it brings a smile to their face in light of everything else that's going on in this world, then isn't it worth it? So, yeah, I look forward to reading your comments, and if you're struggling with anything, just I don't know, just try and find little pockets of joy wherever you can find it, even if it's in 2 pence. So I will see you all in my next one. I will share a little bit more about the pens themselves when I do a kind of fountain pen collection video in a few weeks. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.